Our senior national correspondent Brian Entin joins me now from nearby in Kerr County in Texas. And by that was something, Brian. We first the news came out of this. They said 109 people are now confirmed dead, and 160 some missing just in Kerr County alone. But then this woman at the end, and it's just interesting to see a couple of things. One, the patience of the governor and waiting through that, and then the way he handled it at the end. And now they're all still gathered, embraced on the sidelines of this news conference.
Yeah, I mean, the way that she spoke about the spirit of Texans is exactly what we've seen while we've been here on the ground, Connell. They don't wait around. I mean, they started saving each other right away. They have their chainsaws out. They're not waiting on rescue crews. They're not waiting on the government to show up. And they realize that they have to take matters into their own hands, and they've been doing that since the very beginning, and that's the Texas way, and that's the feeling you get when you're here on the ground. But what stood out to me in the press conference, Connell, which is just jaw-dropping, is a number that we haven't heard yet. 161 people still missing in the Kerr County area, which is where we are. 161 people. They haven't given us that big of a number yet. They've talked about the campers. There were 10 missing yesterday, 5 today. But to think that there are 161 people overall still missing, many of them that were camping along the river and were likely swept away, is really just a devastating number and hard to take in, and just sort of backs up why the searches continue right now. I want to show you, we're along the Guadalupe River. I wanted to show you this, Connell. You can see, I mean, this is an RV that's up in the trees. There's kayaks, there's all sorts of debris. And if I spin this way and show you, these search crews are out here right now. I mean, they're basically, we've been following them, and it's hard because you have to get through the terrain. But they're working their way through all these wooded areas, looking for any sign of anybody. And to now hear that there could be 161 people still in this river. The governor called it a tidal wave. I mean, these people could have traveled 20, 30, 40 miles. We're about 20 miles where we are from Camp Mystic. Again, I guess the only way I can think of saying it is a jaw-dropping number to think that many people are missing right now, Connell.
Well, it is jaw-dropping. I actually had to do a double take when the governor went through those numbers, because it was a little bit confusing at first, because he was talking about the number of little girls still missing from Camp Mystic when he began that part of his briefing, and he said there were 5 campers and 1 counselor still missing. And then he said something to the effect of there are 12 more missing people elsewhere in the state. But I think he was just referring to minors, children, and there were 19 missing children. And at first I thought, and then in the next breath he went on to say, but here in Kerr County there were 161 known to be missing. So it's probably even more so for you being there. It must be overwhelming to hear something like that. In terms of the response, and to go back to some of the points that a young woman was trying to make at the end of that news conference as well, is that, what would you say the not the mood necessarily, but the feeling from people that you're speaking to in terms of how the government has been responding, how everybody's been coordinating things together? At first I thought she was going to exclusively kind of express her frustration, but then at the end she was at the same time thankful for all the help, which I thought was kind of an interesting mix. What do you see?
Yeah, I think she was just sort of emotional, like so many people here, and all over the place. People, for the most part, seem to be happy with the Texas state response. What I have noticed is that Texas seems to really have it together when it comes to emergency response, similar to what I've seen in Florida with hurricanes. I mean, the resources were here relatively quickly. Of course, there are the questions about the warning, and the National Weather Service put out the warning, but why didn't the warning get to the campers and to people along the river? And those are very legitimate questions, and people are not happy about that, and they're trying to understand why there weren't sirens and why there wasn't a warning system. But in terms of the actual response, I haven't heard a lot of complaints. I mean, there are so many resources here. I mean, again, you can see the search team, and this is just one of probably thousands at this point of just little groups, little pockets, little teams of people working different parts of the river. But back to what she said, you know, at the end of the day, it's not the government that comes out and saves people initially and helps neighbors. It's neighbors helping neighbors. It's people with chainsaws. It's, you know, it's humans and human nature. And that's why I think maybe what she said hit us all, because, you know, it sort of reflects the spirit of the community here in the Texas Hill Country.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.